Hey, Dale, your librarian here. So I am going to show you in this video the differences between scholarship and open web stuff. Here's a couple of great examples. And how to take advantage of the attributes of the open web and how to be aware of some of the barriers and pitfalls of the open web. So when you're gathering background or context and building keywords and understanding before you go into the library homepage, I can show you some ideas for like how to get around some of those and tricks and tips. Okay, so one of the big differences between scholarship or scholarly articles or academic information, however you want to talk about it, is that it is evidence-based and it's very serious. They don't want to include anything that would make you feel like you're included just because of who you are or the language that you speak or the age that you are. Whereas we look at Catster and we're just like, oh, I'm a cat lover and I want to know how to talk to my cat. By the way, both of these are about talking to cats, which is fantastic. So on the left-hand side, we have a scholarly article. Very serious. There's no pictures that would make you feel one way or the other. It's just the evidence. Think of it kind of like an unbaked cake. You have the ingredients of like the methodology and the precedents and the history. There's even some like keywords in here: social referencing, gaze alternation, social learning, human-cat communication. This is designed to help you figure out how to find other stuff on the same topic. We have the authors, we have animal cognition, the name of the journal. The date is very laid out. They want us to be able to take this and expand on those ideas. Out on the open web, it's different. It's kind of like something that's already been baked as a cake. So we're, instead of like participating in the creation and exchange of ideas, this is one where it's kind of like it's already set for us. It's not like fast food, but it is kind of like having your cake delivered to you already cooked and decorated. So we don't have to understand the jargon because this has been boiled down for us. Some of the values that we are looking for are catered to us. So for example, it says Catster is reader supported. So we know that it's other cat enthusiasts that are looking at the same material and they endorse this maybe through advertising or maybe through memberships, et cetera, et cetera. Let me show you a diagram. This is another way of looking at it. So evidence-based materials, this is what we hope our doctors and dentists and lawyers will use, is they don't want to be influenced by like who wrote it or when they wrote it or what they were feeling or thinking about that. They just want it to be just the evidence, just the ingredients. So research methods, interventions tested in scholarship, history and precedents. This is meant to be a lens, by the way. It's evidence we're looking through a lens. It's a lame lens. Population studied. The issue and the problem and the concept is well defined. The experiments are repeatable. Sometimes it talks about the outcomes. On the Catster side, not to pick on Catster, but it is created specifically for people who speak English, people who maybe have it's written to an educational attainment level. There's appeals to emotion because we have somebody that's like enjoying their cat. Sometimes it's appeals to logic. Sometimes it's an appeal to fear. You don't want your cat to be angry with you, do you? None of those appeals are going to show up on this side. But that's fine because again, we want this kind of like constructed and interpreted for us. The medium matters. They'll talk about our identity and values and the community. Whereas this one is open to any community, any values, any interpretation. It's meant to stand on its own so anyone can like make what they want from it. So if you go back, you can see there's a big difference. So this one's kind of like baked, pre-chewed, interpreted. It's easy to understand and consume. This one needs a little more interaction, but it's evidence-based and we get to participate. Let's go and look at the outcome. We'll look at the cat of comprehension. Hannah in the Protospace is a wonderful illustrator and agreed to make this cat with a thumbs up. Neither of these are good or bad, but you have to look at the level of attention that's gone through it. So on the Catster one, The reader isn't a comprehender or an understander or an interpreter. They're a consumer. You're consuming this because it's already been chewed on for you. And it's already been interpreted for you. Whereas on this side, the reader participates as an interpreter for the meaning for themselves. Isn't that great? So both of them have their application. So if I'm just looking for a great place to eat, I don't need to have like the scholarly article. I can use Yelp or whatever you have. So that segues into my next moment. What do we do about the open web? So in the open web, there's some good stuff that's like really high level scholarship, and there's some stuff that's like already pre-chewed, and then there's some stuff that doesn't have any merit whatsoever. It's just like data sitting there. How do we determine how to do a good strategy with that? Well, the first thing that I want to show you is how things can be brought to you. So you probably heard of your IP address before. IP address lives in your browser, lives in your phone too, where it tells, whenever you're doing a search, it tells the search engine and the website that you're going to where you're coming from. So if you go to like any website of a company that doesn't exist in the United States, you might get a warning saying, hey, we have a US version of the company. I was interested in buying a motorcycle helmet, and I found one that was great, but I found an Italian website, and they're like, oh, no, you want to go to the US website. For what it's worth, this is how they determine that. And you can look that up, and you can see that it knows where I'm at. So if I was looking for Mexican food, if I'm looking for Mexican food, this is how it knows where I'm at. So if I was really looking for good Mexican food, I'd want to go to like, Mexico. But this is like, it knows where I'm at because of my IP address. Another important one is browser history. If you go up to your browser, you can see your history. This is something where it records where you've been. So this is not nefarious. This is designed to help the search results go faster. So if you visit the same website over and over, all the graphics will be preloaded. Your passwords sometimes will be preloaded into there. And it's all designed to make it go faster for you. But if that ends up in a cookie, so you have browser cookies that are little text files that'll give details about the website that you're in. So if you repeatedly go to the same website, it'll know what your favorites are. But there's like third-party cookies that will like share that across platforms. And so if I look for sunglasses on Amazon, it could be the next time I go to another website, all of a sudden ads for sunglasses will show up. It also looks at the language that you type stuff in. Abuela. So I'm looking for grandma. And I'm getting a bunch of English things. If I had typed everything previously in Spanish, I would get that different language. So the cookies and the browser history remember the language that you typed in. And it typically remembers like the location you're in too. So if you change countries, all of a sudden you might be getting ads for the place that you were in. So having said that, if you're looking up equity in public schools, your strategy, now knowing that there's websites that are catering to different belief systems, identities, languages, locations, and things like that, when you're looking up something that is like a topic that has pro and con, well, your strategy will be, I'll do AI in a different one, your strategy will be who is talking and what do they have to say. You are not going to be choosing a website because of whether you agree with it or not. I would say you're going to be going across several different websites and be cognizant of where they're coming from. So the National Equity Project, I have no idea what that is, but I know that they're not going to give me the complete picture. If I go to, here's another one, Western Governors University, Edutopia, Harvard Graduate School, all of them will have what we call constructions of authority, where they'll try and present themselves as like that scholarly article that's impartial, but they're all coming from different perspectives. If I add Utah, then we get the Salt Lake Tribune, which is a known entity where you could like hit Wikipedia for this, but you could say, what values do they represent? Do they lean left or right politically? You'll get the government of Utah. You'll get the Utah Education Association. You'll get the school district. You'll get a local radio station. You get the Utah State Board of Education. What is K through 12 Dive? So I have no idea what these are. When you're writing down keywords and you're getting background information, these are not the things that you're going to cite. It's just like using an AI. It's going to give you a lot of information, but you're not using it to necessarily cite about that. You're gathering keywords, ideas, the names of people, maybe the names of bills that are being proposed before legislatures, and you're building that in notes. Maybe you're writing them down on a pad of paper. Maybe you're using OneNote or Evernote or something like that. But these are the things that you use to prepare yourself for going into the library databases.